cappuccino?
You know, the cappuccino is great.
Yeah.
Very sort of your traditional, right?
Yeah.
Little Italy of
I know
Boston.
Normally coffee black, but I'm glad you're adventuring outside the box.
Usually I'm just straight up coffee, but seeing what you were having, I figured I better try it.
Very nice. How is it going so far in the campaign?
It's been great. You know, the tough days, I say, well, I'm only trying to save representative democracy.
That's all?
Yeah, that's it. But, you know, it's been just traveling and talking to people about sort of what they want out of government, that they want to believe that the economy in D.C. could work for them. It's been a lot of fun.
Why are you, Governor Bullock, running for president?
Yeah, and this wasn't my grade school dream or anything like that. It's really after the 2016 election. I was the only Democrat in the country to get reelected and stay where Trump won. He took Montana by 20, I won by 4. Donald Trump inspired me, certainly, like a whole lot of other folks, to say we could do better than this. But it's also the recognition. You know, some folks had said, when I said a quarter of my voters voted for Donald Trump, they'd say, well, what's wrong with those people? Or what's wrong with you, Bullock? As opposed to, why aren't we connecting with people that if they're voting their economic, their education, their healthcare interests, they ought to be voting with us?
We hear a lot in politics about people being out of touch on the coasts, that they live in their own bubble. Montana's a pretty remote place. I think a lot of people see it that way. Do you think you have a good feel for the country as a whole and what people are looking for?
I do, in as much as that, yeah, like raised in Montana, raising my family in Montana. I've also lived in California, New York, and DC, and Philadelphia. But I think kind of your initial sort of the premise of that's, we kind of forget the fact, especially as Democrats, like this election won't be won just on the coast or urban areas. If we can't win back places that we lost, if we can't be competitive in what some folks here might call the flyover states, the Michigans, the Wisconsins, and Pennsylvanias, we're not going to win this election.
Talk to me about life at home, married, 3 kids, adult kids.
No,
Middle
still
of road?
relatively young.
Okay.
Yeah, but life at home, I have a 17-year-old daughter,
Okay.
a 15-year-old daughter, and a 13-year-old son.
So 3 teenagers.
Yeah, yeah. And
How's
I'm
that?
becoming less smart every day, even as governor and a presidential candidate. Yeah.
Are they helping you with your social media platforms?
You should follow Caroline Bullock, she puts on her Twitter handle, she's the deputy campaign manager.
I like that. I like that. Is that the 17-year-old?
That's the 17-year-old,
Okay.
yeah.
You haven't been on the debate stage in a while, so what would you like to communicate to viewers that you don't have a chance to because you're not standing among the masses at this point?
And I truly still believe that at the end of the day, these debates, it's more about trying to get your moment than what you're really talking about along the way. And I'm not sure that that's been really conclusive for anybody.
Well, you need a moment because there's so many
No, that's
people.
right. There's still a whole lot of us.
Yeah.
And I guess what I'd want to convey is we've got to get somebody that can bridge some of these divides and make sure things can work.
What would be one thing you would want voters to know about you that you wouldn't even talk about on a debate stage or on a stump speech?
What do I want to tell everyone?
Yeah, if you were sitting in their living room and like, hey, you should know this about me.
Well, and it probably would be that my continuing fight, and there was actually a documentary made called Dark Money about my efforts, because I think that, like, when we talk about income inequality, when we talk about gun violence, when we talk about climate change, so much of that goes down to the corrupting influence of money in the system. And not everybody knows that really has been the fight of my career.
Are you in this for the long haul? Is that feasible, given where you're at in the proverbial polls?
You know, I look back, one of Massachusetts' favorite sons, John Kerry, he was at 4 points 45 days out from Iowa. He won Iowa, that's what changed it all. Barack Obama was 22 points down. So I think for me and everybody else, what will really narrow this field is those early states, the top 4 or 5. Yeah, the Iowa, the New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Nevada is what's always in the past taken a big field and narrowed down, not debates, not things like that.
Yeah.
So certainly in it through that, and I think as folks say, number one issue is beating Donald Trump, and we've got to find somebody that can beat him, and now we could get 2 million more votes in Massachusetts. If we can't win Wisconsin, this thing's over. And I'm a guy that could do that.
Governor Bullock, thank you so much.
So appreciate you taking the time today.